Test. Here are the 4 biggest things to look forward to at How to Train Your Dragon Isle of Berk, the brand new Dragons themed land coming to Universal's Epic Universe. This video is a primer for the brand new land opening next month at Universal's Epic Universe, the 4th Universal theme park in Orlando, Florida. Now, the Isle of Berk is going to be the biggest draw for families at Epic Universe, and I'm going to get into all of this in another video about my thoughts on visiting Epic Universe with younger kids and how many rides they can actually ride, but suffice to say that the Isle of Berk has a lot of responsibility on its back, so to speak. That's why the first thing that I'm looking forward to is Hiccup's Wing Gliders. This is a family-friendly roller coaster made to look like a contraption from Hiccup's workshop. The roller coaster is going to take you around the land, offering unparalleled views and encounters with Hiccup and Toothless and tons of other dragons and even some fun sheep. Early reviews about this coaster seem highly positive. In fact, some are even deeming it underrated compared to the other ones in the other lands that are getting much more of the attention during previews. I can't help but look at this ride and draw connections to something such as Seven Dwarfs Mine Train at Disney World, and that's a really good thing because I think this is a good entry-level roller coaster that your kids can ride without it being too scary and that adults can also enjoy for the mild thrills. This one looks like it really glides and it's really smooth and I just can't wait to ride it. The ride height requirement is 40 inches and this ride is available for Express Pass. The second thing I'm looking forward to is the Untrainable Dragons stage show, and I say this as somebody who struggles to prioritize stage shows when there are so many rides and other experiences you could do instead. The show is an outright spectacle featuring massive props, lights, action, including a dragon flying above the crowd in a story where Hiccup, Toothless, and Astrid try to tame a new dragon that has made their way to the Isle of Berk. Talk about immersive. Theme park fans may already know this, but a version of this stage show already exists at Universal Studios Beijing. And based off of that footage, this looks to be pretty immersive, really entertaining, something you could do with the kids, and also a great way to get some AC and to get off your feet out of the Orlando heat. Coming at number 3 on my list are all of the dragons. And what I mean by that are the sheer number of dragons at this part of the theme park. There are character meets, including a really unique looking meet and greet with Hiccup and Toothless, the aforementioned stage show featuring dragons, animatronic dragons roaming freely around the land, including baby dragons, which I think is going to be a huge draw for people of all ages, but especially kids. Remember, this place is going to be really family friendly, so I think that's going to be a huge draw for people as they roam the park in a way that I don't think we're really seeing a lot of other Orlando theme parks. There's going to also be potentially flying drone dragons above the Isle of Berk when this park opens on opening day. Now, the dragon drones have not been seen during previews, but there has been footage that is on YouTube and elsewhere showing these dragons being tested during the off hours. And I can only imagine how cool this looks in person when they're flying above you. And I can't even imagine how my kids who are obsessed with dragons would react to this. I've shown my kids a few pictures and videos of the free roaming baby dragons, and they're still at that age where something like that can seem real. And to just see the wonder in their eyes and the excitement is what really makes this all special, honestly, and why I have this channel. And I think that if they were to see a dragon actually flying above them, that there's no question that the Isle of Berk will be their favorite land at Epic Universe, and I don't think we can blame them for that. The fourth thing is the Viking Training Camp. This is a massive interactive play area, basically a huge playground for kids, and I would call it a sort of dragon-infused version of what exists at the Boneyard at Disney's Animal Kingdom, which sadly is being removed this year. Anyway, there's going to be climbing towers, agility courses, sheep launches, whatever that means, drums, chimes, slides, just a place for kids to be kids at a theme park that otherwise doesn't have these types of opportunities. I think this is especially important for the littlest ones who aren't tall enough to ride the majority of the rides at Epic Universe. And I think, in another video, I'm going to explore whether Epic Universe is worthwhile with the youngest of kids, but I think having this sort of playground with these types of opportunities at the Isle of Berk is going to really set it apart as a land and also within the theme parks at Orlando, period. And so I have not seen a lot of coverage of the Viking Training Camp in the existing previews. I feel like it could be because a lot of people going to previews either don't have kids or they're not taking their kids. I'm not entirely sure, but I will be testing this out under what I call game day, what word am I looking for? Conditions when I go next month. And I think that one thing I also want to explore is Is there going to be a lot of shade there? Is there going to be an opportunity to get water? Where can you put your stuff if you go in there with your kids? Also, is it going to be overrun with larger kids? Like, how is it policed? Just things you have to consider when you have the smallest of kids. And so stay tuned for that when I go next month. All right, while those are my top 4 things I'm looking forward to, there are a ton of other things, including 2 other attractions like Dragon's Racers Rally, which is a large spinning ride themed to look like a dragon trainer. There is Fire Drill, a slow moving boat ride that contains cannons where you can shoot water at flame-like targets. I think this is much needed on a hot day. And there is also no height requirement. So this could probably be the most family-friendly because it's one of the few without a single height requirement at all of Epic Universe. So kid-friendly as long as they're okay with getting wet. So something to consider. For food, there is Mead Hall. This is the main quick service place to eat in the land. There's also Spitfire Grill and Hooligan's Grog and Gruel. The latter is the food stand that offers the various mac and cheese cones that you're probably seeing on social media that look really good. I am still determining whether I'm going to be brave enough to try mac and cheese in the blazing heat in between riding so many motion simulated based rides, but I will pack my lactate just in case. Finally, there's also How to Treat Your Dragon, and that is a cleverly named candy and confection shop somewhere in Isle of Berk that I'm sure offers lots of treats that kids will absolutely love. Don't worry, there's going to be lots of shopping options too, like Viking Traders, Hiccup's Workshop. This is the shop located at the exit of Hiccup's Wing Gliders. And there's also Toothless's Treasures. So yeah, lots of opportunities to get all the merch you want for you and or your kids, and I can't wait to see all the options they have because I'm sure my kids are going to want every single dragon that they see. All right, those are the 4 biggest things that I'm looking forward to at the Isle of Berk. This officially opens next month in Orlando, Florida. I have a trip planned just after opening, where I'll be testing park strategies, rides, food, and weather. Like I said, Epic Universe truly is family friendly under game day conditions. To be clear, it's fine if Epic Universe isn't, family friendly. I just know that a lot of my subscribers have kids and they would like to know whether Epic is worth the detour from Disney with the youngest of visitors. And, I think that's important to know when planning your trip and spending a lot of money on vacation going to Orlando. For all of the Epic Universe and Disney theme parks updates, subscribe here and also follow along on my Instagram and TikTok. See you real soon.